How does social and geographical context influence the role of women in film? I will analyze two films, Breathless by Jean-Luc Godard and Before Sunrise by Richard Linklater. According to Ashley Pascal, feminist film theory represents a unique criticism of film that comes as a result of feminist politics and feminist theory. It investigates how mostly women, femininity, and also man masculinity are represented. It has started to be influential in early 1970s with the aim of revealing the passivity of women in the screen. It discusses sign and imagery of women that is highly stereotyped nowadays, and femininity film theory is heavily focused on the contrast of the woman's narrative in a film and how women are represented in films. The female spectre, the male gaze, representation of women in film, sexist ideologies. The variety notions behind the difference in how women identify with female characteristics, how women are portrayed on the screen, and how female roles represented dominationally characters and gender. You can see how feminist film theory represented in two films, Breathless and Before Sunrise. On his way to Vienna, both shy strangers meet each other. After long conversations, the surprising connection appears. Since his flight to US departs the next morning and he has no money, he proposes for a stranger to go out on a train with him to Vienna. As the night progresses, their bond makes separation in the morning a difficult choice. Before Sunrise was filmed in Vienna, Linklater says that he did not have a lot of money, but he ended up going to Vienna Film Festival and found out that they had some European subsidy money. Read the script, really liked it. It's a low-budget movie that did not require almost any special effects or made-up places. It was all realistic and true story events. Like with the train scene, train was actually leaving and characters needed to do their best to say goodbye before the train leaves. In addition, Linklater creates a romantic atmosphere in hard-for-him settings. As he said, it was insanely hot, and I had not slept in days because we shoot mostly at night. I remember being miserable. It was beautiful but uncomfortable and unusual environment for the director. It was also seen an assumption of American character about service in Europe. A few years ago, it was a big focus on women's rights conference in Vienna and Beijing, which caused main woman character be stronger than men. When Linklater met Juliet, he saw strong character and same charming, while Ethan looked naive and smart in a good way. Meanwhile, Breathless, his main character considers himself as a bad guy. He panics and impulsively kills a policeman while driving a stolen car. On the lam, he turns to his girlfriend Patricia hiding out in her Paris apartment while he tries to pull together enough money to Italy. But when Patricia learns that her boyfriend is being investigated for murder, she brings the question of her loyalty. Breathless was an extended investigation of French film being pushed into the shadow of Hollywood dominance. It essentially questions if an identity informed by another nation's culture can exist. In making Breathless, Godard followed basic principles of completing rejection of the tradition. Breathless wants to identify with the Hollywood filmmakers it admires. However, Godard is conscious of the fact that such identification is utterly impossible, just like connection between Patricia and Michael. In the 1960s, France extended their women's rights after civil unrest. Godard portrays Patricia as a strong character with highly intellectual abilities, which Michael does not notice. In addition, as an American woman, the director adds to character ability to lie. Therefore, her betrayal of him turns out to be not about Michael and not about right or wrong, but only a test that she sets for herself to determine if she loves him or not. In terms of feminine theory, both movies show development of female characteristics and portray their dominance in the end of the movie. In the film Before Sunrise, Juliet is represented as a shy student who travels back home. Jessie leads her to the other part of the train and then parts of Vienna. As the viewer continues getting to know characters, she starts to open up and changes places with Jessie. Now he follows her around. Juliet talks 2 times more than him and puts himself higher than Jessie in maturity way. When he refers to himself as a child, she is fully comfortable with being an adult. After the night they spend together, she fully develops her feelings toward her partner. She decides to stay happy with no understanding of the future. However, she was initiator of all actions that were during the night. In terms of Breathless, the viewer sees development with a twist. As in the above-mentioned film, Patricia came as a shy character and seemed that Michael leads her around. In reality, Michael followed her for the first time they met. He wanted to sleep with her, to be with her, to hide in her apartment. She was dominating over his feelings and status. The twist appears when Patricia questions her love and loyalty and understands that Michael is not the one who he seems to be and betrays him. She was the initiator of trust, love, and betrayal. As Patricia did not follow Michael and relied on her own decision, she already appears to be a strong female character in her own decisions. Femininity theory also portrayed through other film elements like editing, mise-en-scène, and camera angles. Godard uses jump cuts in his films, which are defining characteristic of a French New Wave. Most popular scene in the car. Each time the cut changes to another cut, Patricia is the one who starts conversation or states anything. Michael almost does not say a word, while Patricia is being a leader of the conversation and gets to know him more. Unlike Godard, Linklater saves romantic and important conversation of the characters. He uses mostly cuts to transfer characters from one place to another. However, to mention again, Juliet starts most of the conversations, which makes her leader and desire to get her partner. As the similarity, both of the directors shows up main characters together from the low-angle shot. It shows that power of strangers is equal between themselves. Although important decisions for women, they are portrayed higher than their partners, thus looking from the high angle on their partners. Therefore, woman is the one who makes important decisions and leading men after herself. For example, like Juliet feels like being an adult with a child, or before sexual scene, she is leading it. Patricia decides whether sleep with Michael or not, or during the breaking moment when she looks at Michael from downstairs, or when Michael dies, she still looks straight down on him. Moreover, feminine theory depicts through authorial ideals in terms of symbolic meanings of costuming. Both female characters are portrayed as magical girls with high intellectual and literature levels. Symbol of novel and poetry is shown through references to popular novels. For example, when Patricia asks Michael if he read the novel, she starts to express her understanding and emotions about it. It makes her smarter than Michael, and as he did not understand what she is talking about. Juliet meets Jesse with a book and does not mind a stranger to write a poem with random 2 words. Unlike Jesse, she sees hard work of the stranger and appreciates the written poem. It shows that her interest in literature is higher than Jesse's, thus her mind is more extended. Referring to history in 1960s, French economy overtook US. Godard depicts both characters in expensive clothing. Even though Michael gets money illegally, Patricia manages to buy expensive dresses from a Chanel. She looks elegant. She is main attention of the man, and Michael also. Unlike Godard, Linklater films low-budget movie and does not show high economic status of the main characters. Juliet wears simple, comfortable clothing and sometimes merges with Jesse and the background. However, Juliet catches Jesse's attention because of being simple and sincere. The economic situation does not change feelings of both characters. Another link to feminine theory is through male development and characteristics. Michael does not ask Patricia for her permission to touch her or to kiss her. However, she allows herself to slap him, to say no, or tease him and his feelings. Thus, she builds up her strong character and ability to control men with her beauty, education, and powerful characteristics. However, Linklater directed movie already in 1995, and women's rights extended and men education already different. Jesse is the totally opposite of Michael. Jesse is shy, not open. He does not kiss, touch, or sleep with Juliet without her own permission. Movies show different social behavior towards women and their rights. To conclude, both directors talk about feminine theory to show the role of women in film influenced by geographic, economical, and historical contexts. Films contrast each other by their time settings and economical possibilities of main characters. However, both directors depict development of female characteristics and show their dominance over male representatives. To portray the power moments of important decisions, women stands higher than men, or camera angles goes up as if she looks down on him. Simple symbolism of literature and education shown in both films, where woman refers and respects time given for poetry, while man does not show interest and thus being less smart on a contrast to their female partners.